are times the people you'll see today aren't quite sure where home is. Yet in Washington, D.C., somehow, someone like Jill Trenery can make herself look like she is right at home. That's because she is when she's laced up and out on the ice. New York can make anyone feel a little lost, but since they were young, these champions all knew where they were heading, to levels of perfection few will ever know, such as the feeling of Ekaterina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov of the Soviet Union. The world and Olympic champion pair are as far from Gorky Park as they ever expected to go. They have seen the rolling plains, hay bales, and dairy farms of the nation's Midwest, which isn't far from the look of Calgary, Alberta, where Canadian Brian Orser dueled Brian Boitano in the Olympics. Brian's got a new look out on the ice, which no matter where it is, makes him feel right. Planes, trains, and automobiles pass the Continental Divide and the winter-crazy folks who live there. It's far from her home in East Germany's Karl-Marx-Stadt, but it's where Katharina Witt wants to be.
This makes me happy. It's not to stay home and to have a family and maybe to have a child in the next month.
If you're lucky, the route of the road does bring you home. A visit to San Francisco meant that Brian Boitano could stop in for a change of clothes and bring us along to see his new pad, which he will today. Boitano, the Olympic gold medalist, is now unchaining his heart and creativity, meaning that his body is moving in ways it never has.
People don't expect Brian Boitano to go out there and shake his hips.
These are only some of the stars of figure skating in the Tour of Champions. Today, they star at the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport.
Shoot the ball. Bang, bang, yeah!
His target back on its feet as Jim Ryan pounds for home. We've got a problem. That is Schrader into the pass.
The thrill of victory.
Here's the finish of the Brinkley. Sunday silence and easy goer. Photo finish.
And the agony of defeat.
Oh, baby, what a terrible fall. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
The human drama of athletic competition.
Here's the play of the plate. Out and home.
In our 29th year, this is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Faced with the task of trying to fill 30 different arenas in different sections of this country, what would you do? Well, you might go after the hottest rock star. That could be a good formula. Or perhaps an elite group of athletes from basketball or hockey. But you might do well to choose the same collection of world and Olympic figure skating champions that we're preparing to watch today on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Because they've played to full houses and they will continue to do so in this 30-city tour that crisscrosses the United States. They've all reached the highest level in their sport, and now they prepare to mix amateurs and professionals. Joining me is Peggy Fleming Jenkins. And Peggy, as the professionals like Boitano, Orser, and Katharina Witt mixed with this new generation of amateurs, what kind of atmosphere does it create?
Well, it's kind of like a family reunion. These skaters have gotten very close over the years. They've really gone through the rigors of serious competition, the Olympic Games and World Championships. And now going out on tour it's really getting to know each other on a personal level. And it's also a time for them to test out numbers. And we're going to see a different side of their personality. And this is a fun experience for all of the skaters.
I think you'll see it as fun when you meet Brian Boitano and Katharina Witt, who are backstage with Dick Button, who's also working with us today. Dick?
Clearly, among the very special group of skaters that are here today, the king and queen are Katharina Witt and Brian Boitano. But there's nothing royal about this family. In fact, Katharina told me earlier that in her language, there's a very special term, muti and fati, mother and father. Is that the way you feel to the group of skaters that are here today?
Yeah, we feel like this. Well, we had a lot of fun when we started this tour, so we found out that we are the older people in this group because we're...
You're the older people?
Well, I mean, we're in this tour since '81, and so we started, well, but Brian also and Tracy and Rob, so we started to say we are the parents, so Muti and Fati and Mama and Papa, and we are the royal family.
This is one tour I'd like to be on myself. How about it, Brian?
It's a lot of fun. We find that our clique is with the professionals. It's the first time that professionals and amateurs have skated together, so I think that's why we really feel like mother and father on this tour.
What a special day, and it's going to be some great skating along with it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Whether the judges are in the arena or not, there is a feeling of healthy nervous tension backstage just before showtime. Jill Trenery, on the left, will perform first. For Jill, disappointment at the World Championships in Paris this year, where she finished third. Entering the long program, she was in the lead, but some crucial mistakes allowed the gold medal, which she coveted, to slip away. She views that as a missed opportunity, which leaves the clock ticking on the opportunities of the future, which she wants to be prepared for so that she can take advantage of them.
I want to be home, I want to go to school, and I want to just train. That's all. You know, there's not much time left for me. With figures going out, I feel this is really my last shot at it, and I haven't given up at all. I really still feel that I have that chance.
Everybody, spread the word. Georgia Brown will tear up this town. No gal maid has got a shade on. Sweet Georgia Brown. Two left feet, but oh so neat. And sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and wanna die for sweet Georgia Brown. I'll tell you just why. You know I don't lie, not much. It's been said she knocks some dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why, it's a shame how she cools them down. Fellas that she can't get, or fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her, sweet Georgia Brown.
Jill is so comfortable performing in show programs. She always has exquisite costumes and very polished choreography. Now, she's 20 years old and still wants to test herself in competition against Japan's Midori Ito, who is the current world champion. She certainly has the right elements for both.
Here at the Tour of Champions, Jill Trenery has been working with East Germany's Katharina Witt on how to better express herself in front of an audience. As for whether she'll continue, she says, if I keep learning and growing, I'll continue. But if it gets flat, I'll stop. We'll have to wait till 1992 to see what happens.
ABC's Wide World of Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by General Motors, the mark of excellence.
He had an agent when he was 6 months old and was a TV baby in Hollywood. The city has left its mark on Christopher Bowman. Flamboyance, the enthusiasm of youth, showbiz, it's all there. But now in an effort to let his skating leave the lasting impression, California guy Christopher Bowman is trying to sunscreen his image.
It was kind of a misconception. I mean, I don't want people to think that I'm, you know, going to join the priesthood and I'm totally changed person. I'm not. I'm still the same Christopher that I was 5 years ago. It's just that I'm more careful now on how people, being in the public eye and being a big focus right now, I'm much more careful of how every step I take as far as presenting myself.
This performance will reflect the new Christopher Bowman. Dick, the crowd seemed to love the old Christopher Bowman, U.S. national champion, silver medalist at the Worlds. Why does he think he has to change?
I don't think it's a question of changing. He should keep all the fun and sense of humor that's in him. And it's not a question of whether he wins a national, world, or Olympic title. The question is, will he be a great skater? He needs extraordinary technique for that, and I think that's what he's attacking at this point. Christopher Bowman, a young man with an extraordinary sense of humor, a great personality, and enormous potential.
And the folks here at the Meadowlands Arena seem to like the new Christopher Bowman.
This is Tracy Wilson and Robert McCall.
They're definitely a fun dance team. Robert McCall tends to be more of the artist of the pair, and Tracy Wilson stresses more of the technical side, but they usually try to put a little humor in some of their numbers they do. so much energy. They've put everything into every move and every detail. They're a lot of fun, kind of make you feel like you should get out there and join them.
She's a sports nut. He likes classic movies. She's married. He is not. But they've won 7 Canadian championships together. So on the ice, they mix perfectly. Tracy Wilson and Robert McCall, one of the best dance pair teams around. Well, here is Brian Orser preparing to perform one of his well-thought-out routines that reflects his genuine enthusiasm for the sport and the professional side of it, which he is now exploring.
He certainly is a put-together young man, well-organized, focused, polished, and his skating certainly is effective.
And a warm reception here at the Meadowlands Arena says the people here appreciate that side of it.
Certainly see the influence of Fred Astaire here. Brian, polished, elegant. He pushes control right to the limit. If he is Fred Astaire, could this be Ginger? After a happy walk through the park, Brian is at home. The lights are low. The night may just be beginning. Cue the velvety sax.
so many of the boys in Belleville, Ontario, Brian Orser first learned to skate by playing the sport of hockey. You won't see any of the Toronto Maple Leafs doing this. The other Brian Boitano, and Katarina Witt are still to come as the Tour of Champions continues.
The tour of World Figure Skating Champions continues on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
In the Soviet Union, they affectionately call her Katya. But 18-year-old Ekaterina Gordieva has that special something that has drawn her into the hearts of people well beyond the borders of her country. With her partner, Sergei Grinkov, at the Calgary Olympics, she won the gold medal, which goes nicely with the 3 World Championship golds that they have won together. She comes from Moscow and may have inherited more than beauty from her father, who was a character dancer and performer of ethnic and folk dances for the Red Army's Song and Dance Ensemble. Mr. Gordiev's daughter is a lover of the arts, especially ballet and the poetry of Pushkin. To meet her is to like her.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
She's got a way about her. I don't know what it is, but I know that I can't live without her. She's got a smile that heals me. I don't know why it is, but I have to laugh when she reveals me. She's got a light around her. Oh, and everywhere she goes, a million dreams of love surround her everywhere.
They are trained in the great tradition of the world of classical ballet, a tradition that has descended from the 19th century right through George Balanchine, and even in the skating world through the famed Soviet-Russian skaters, the Protopopovs.
This number really shows their experience as champions and also shows a more mature presentation in the musical interpretation, their confidence, and the carriage of their bodies.
Gordieva and Grinkov, certainly one of the finest pairs that we've ever seen, and how well they work together. Although one has a tendency to focus on her, it's his partnering, his support and presentation of her that solidifies the magic of their skating.
Of the stars assembled for this Tour of Champions, Katarina Witt certainly stands out as one who has a strong following. There is an enjoyment in her style and a mysticism about where she's from. Rare is the East German athlete who surfaces again after retirement from amateur competition. In a country whose athletes have won over 500 Olympic medals since 1968, does one name come to mind any faster than Katharina Witt? Her combination of sultriness, athleticism, and dramatic sense has brought Katharina a fame and freedom few of her countrymen will ever know. For them, a wall that is older than Katharina still separates their country from the Western world, despite pleas from Presidents Kennedy to Bush.
Democracy is not perfect, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in.
It must come down.
Although the wall remains as a physical and political barrier, for Katharina, it seems, the wall does not exist. She has spent nearly all of the last 11 months away from home. Her worldwide popularity and enormous success have brought Katharina her ticket out. But why was she granted such privileges, and not other East German athletes with equal or greater Olympic success? The answer may lie in today's changing political climate in Eastern Europe. But more importantly, Katharina's freedom may have been bought. Case in point, her recent European tour of Holiday on Ice is rumored to have brought nearly $4 million to her economy, an amount infinitely more valuable than the East German Deutschmark. But Katharina Witt is more than just a blue-chip commodity to East Germany. She is a celebrated member of the Communist Party and an unofficial ambassador for a country she loyally supports.
I'm presenting my own country, and if I'm here so that people know I'm from East Germany, and I got a lot of letters that they wrote before they didn't know what country it is, and now they're interested in it and they want to visit it. So it's really nice to know this. And I mean, my first thing is not to be an ambassador. I'm an athlete and I'm doing something on the ice. I'm an artist too. So, but it's nice to know that I give a message from my country to this country too.
Unlike her Soviet counterparts, who have publicly demanded to keep a greater share of their earnings, Katharina seems to be content with her arrangement. It is estimated that she keeps 20% of her earnings and simply regards the rest as taxes. Other perks include luxuries normally reserved for government officials, an apartment in her hometown of Karl-Marx-Stadt, a penthouse in East Berlin, a country cottage, an automobile. But more importantly, she's gained the freedom to travel unrestricted throughout the world. At age 23, no doubt the future is wide open for Katharina Witt. There will be more skating tours and primetime television specials. A biography has hit the bookshelves. And can an acting career be far away? One day, Katharina says she will stay home and raise a family. But for now, she's found a new family on the road. She loves the world that has opened its arms to her, her fans, her friends, her unique freedom. For now, Katharina Witt wouldn't have it any other way.
Katharina Witt.
From the Broadway play that is still a big hit, Across the Hudson River, Katharina has selected On My Own from Les Miserables. She has chosen the German version. On My Own becomes Nur für mich.
Und wieder bin ich ganz allein, ein Boot im Gang mit Höllenqualen. Ich will kein Geld von euch, mein Herr, das ist mit Geld nicht zu bezahlen. Die Nacht ist schon so nah, fast könnte ich glauben, er wäre da. Ich ziehe oft allein umher, wenn alle anderen Menschen schlafen. Wie oft hab ich von ihm geträumt, dass wir uns im Dunkeln trafen. Der Mond am Himmelszelt führt mich in meine eigene Welt. Nur für mich im Stillen ist er bei mir, ganz allein. Durchwachen wir die Nächte. Doch ich weiß, es kann ja nie geschehen, denn ich red nur mit mir selbst und nicht mit ihm. Ja, ich weiß, er hat mich übersehen, ganz egal. Ich muss zu ihm stehen, ich lieb ihn, doch geht die Nacht vorüber. Ist er fort, der dunkle Fluss wird trüber. Er fehlt mir, die Welt verliert die Farben, die Bäume kahl, die Menschen wahr, die Straßen voller Narben. Ich lieb ihn, doch täglich muss ich sehen, wie er lebt, als hätt's mich nie gegeben. Sein Leben wird ohne mich vergehen. Die Welt ist voller Seligkeit und ich darf nicht hinein. Ich lieb ihn. Ich lieb ihn. Ich lieb ihn. Doch nur für mich allein.
On My Own from Les Miserables, which of course is about the French Revolution. It is ironic and interesting to note that the script notes for the play at the conclusion of this song state, "The barricade is built and the revolution is begun." What the revolutionists did for France, Katharina may be doing for the future East German athletes who will reach her level of success. A skater's life on the road usually takes away from the time needed to make a home a home. Brian Boitano is used to playing to a full house, while in reality his house in San Francisco is anything but full. Ladies and gentlemen, your tour guide.
Hi. You want to come and see my new house? Moved in 2 months ago, so there's a little work that still needs to be done. First of all, I do need to get rid of this carpet that the previous owners had. This house was built in 1925, and it's your typical marina Mediterranean house with the curved ceilings, the hardwood floors, and the stucco exterior. I'd love to invite you to sit down, but as you can see, I have no furniture. Well, this is my state-of-the-art entertainment center. As you can see, here's my one-day-old television that I have set up. And I figure I'll put a wall unit here with bookshelves on either side, have my TV and VCR, and then my sound system underneath. And no state-of-the-art entertainment center would be complete without a compact disc player. It sounds good, doesn't it? Well, let me take you into the master bedroom now. Now, I swear, if you were to come in here in 3 days, you would have seen this room filled with antique pine furniture. I'm gonna get an antique pine armoire for over there. I'm gonna get a bed made out of logs right here. I'm gonna have a nightstand with my alarm clock on it. And I'm gonna have a TV stand here, and then I'm gonna have it's a great bureau. It's an antique pine bureau right here. And as you can see, I have my decorating with paints book here. And I'm really serious about this. Got to get rid of those drapes, though, and I really have to figure out how to work this alarm system. Well, the joke that my friends have is that I really only have 2 rooms in my house, the kitchen and the bedroom, because they're the only 2 rooms that I have any furniture in. So I spend most of my time in the kitchen. It's going to be an antique French country kitchen with a lot of pine, a lot of baskets, a lot of copper, and a little bit of tile. I haven't really decided which one I like better, but I guess I can decide that later. This is my junk food cabinet. You want a little snack? Now, I only keep this for when friends come over to visit. Let's go to my favorite place, the garden. Living in the city and traveling as much as I do, it's very important to have a place that's tranquil and secluded. I spend a lot of evenings barbecuing and talking with my friends here, and it's a very peaceful place for me. thanks for coming over, but you gotta promise me that you'll come back when I'm all finished. And I'll even get dressed up for you, okay? Bye.
Okay, Brian, we promise to come back in a few months and see which tile you chose and how all that pine works out.
Unchain my heart, baby, let me be. 'Cause you don't care. Well, please set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some Sally tells me that you're not at home. Unchain my heart, set me free. All right.
How loose and relaxed he is now. It's a style of skating that would have been completely unthinkable to him as little as 2 years ago.
I'm under spell, just like a man in a trance, baby. But you know down well that I don't stand a chance. Oh, you don't care. Please set me free.
Brian has plans, if professionals are allowed, to compete in the 1992 Olympic Games in Albertville, France. Between now and then, plan on seeing him take off in some new musical and choreographed directions, as he has just done in the Meadowlands of East Rutherford.
We now return for the finale of Figure Skating's Tour of Champions.
The audience has requested it, and Brian Boitano will deliver an encore at the Meadowlands.
There's been more change in the world of skating in the last 2 years than almost in the last 50 years put together. And Brian Boitano has been right at the center of that change.
Just give love and never get love. You better let love depart. I know so, and still I know I can't get you out of my heart. Took my love, and now you gone. This I have for you. I fell for you. That you love me, and that you snub me. I prayed you'd put no one above me, and now I'm black and blue. I fell for you.
We have worked with the great figure skaters of the world a great number of times, and there are a few things that continue to be remarkable. Their level of athleticism and how that makes what they do look simple. Their love of their sport, which translates into genuine enthusiasm. A level of professionalism that forces them to be as perfect as they think they can be. A desire to be innovative, colorful, and as a result, entertaining. In the end, these are all the reasons why arenas around America were filled by the Tour of Champions. Because it's easy to appreciate how hard they work to get where they are and how much fun it is for them to show you how much they love what they do.